Hello guys, welcome back to the show. I hope you are safe and well. Today we have another Homage watch brand to review. Now I know I've recently gone in heavy with Homage watches, but bear with me as I have an interesting Homage watch to show you. So listen to these specs. 43mm in diameter, 22mm lug width, an automatic chronograph movement, an aluminium bezel which is unidirectional, a mineral crystal hardlex glass, and now all of that comes into this watch for less than £26 UK money or $35 US. So what Homage is this? Well, as you can see from the video, these are all based on the Omega Planet Ocean watches. So let's take a look. So these watches are available all over the internet, but I recommend that you get them from AliExpress if you're okay to wait for delivery. For the more impatient of you out there, I will provide links to eBay stores both in the US and the UK. This also includes mine as well, where you can get them a little bit quicker. Yes, you're going to pay a little bit more in a premium, but if you want faster shipping, that's the way to go about it. So without further ado, let's dive into the watch. First of all, we have a few different strap variations today. So first of all, we have the NATO strap that it comes with on this watch here with the black dial. And you've also got silicone rubber straps with a press clasp, which can be adjusted as you need to on the watch. Now, the silicone strap and NATO straps you get come in various colorways. So with this one, you can get like an orange and black NATO strap. You can get blue NATO straps. You can get quite a few different colorways that are going to suit everyone's particular needs. And that's the same with the silicone strap as well. You can get them in the black and orange, which is what I've got today. You can get it all black. You can get them in black and blue. And again, just some other different interesting options as well. Now, you also can get these in a stainless steel bracelet. However, I tend to shy away from them at this price. And the reason being is that they are cheap and flimsy, or they bobble around, which makes the dial, which is 43mm anyway, so quite a big dial, it will make it seem a bit bigger on wrist than it actually is. So my personal preference is not to go for the steel bands, but it's up to yourself, of course, whichever one you feel the most comfortable in. So the first watch we're going to have a look at today is the Paularies rubber strap watch. Now this one does come with the chronograph option on here, and as you can see, it is a true automatic movement. You've got your different sections of the chronograph either side of the dial. You've got the 12 o'clock, which is in the specific colorway, so you would have that in black, blue, red, and some of the other colors that you've got. And you've got your date indication at 6 o'clock on there. You've got usual triangles apart from at 6 and 12, and at 3 and 9 where they are shortened just to make room for the chronograph on here. This is your crown. These are your pushes for the chronograph. This is just for show. It doesn't actually do anything. It's just to replicate the idea of the planet ocean. Now, going through the specs again, you've got your 43mm diameter and your 22mm lug width. I actually think that because of the rubber strap on here and because of the way that sort of comes in, yes, it bobbles a little bit, but it actually doesn't look too intrusive on wrist, especially if you compare it to the likes of the Pagani design, which is 43mm as well, but looks much bigger on wrist. You've also got a hardlex crystal on there, which actually looks a bit like an acrylic crystal, I must say, but it's not. I believe it is hardlex. If I am wrong, please correct me in the comments below. But it does have that domed and bobble effect, which is quite nice. But this dial itself is very close to the planet ocean. My one criticism of the chronograph is that potentially it could look a little bit too busy with all of these different options on there, but it is a very popular colorway, and I can see why it is very popular. Moving away from the actual design of the watch, let's look at the strap itself. So this is quite a comfortable strap to wear, and I think it's one of the reasons why I opted for this over the stainless steel bracelet strap. As you can see, it's a pressed clasp. It does flip open pretty quickly, but once it's clipped on, it is pretty secure on the wrist as well, so there's no chance of it sort of bobbling around and falling off, especially since you can adjust it to whatever sizing you need. So the next one that we have on wrist is the NATO strap variant. And as you can see on here, the NATO strap actually helps with this watch in terms of bobbling. You've got the 43mm in diameter. Now this one, as you've well noticed now, isn't the chronograph option. So this is actually a little bit cheaper, and you still got your automatic movement, you still got your dates complication. This time it is at the 3 o'clock mark instead of the 6 o'clock. You've got your 12 and 6 that you can see on the dial. You can see the 6 on the video, you can't see the 12, and the Paularies logo at top. Again, you've got the unidirectional bezel, which is a good click action as well. Not much back play in it either, which is again pretty good for the price. You've got your show crown on there, which just sort of copies the Planet Ocean design, and you've got your normal crown on there, no pushes again because this is chronograph. Now sweeping down the wrist, and as you can see the strap on here, this is not unlike the James Bond NATO strap from Spectre, and this is indeed what this watch is actually modelled after, although this is a Planet Ocean Seamaster and not the Seamaster they've had before. So you've got your 12, 6 and 9 across there, and actually when you compare the other two watches, I do prefer this watch to the chronograph, and the reason why is that it's sleeker in my opinion. It's not as busy, which is always nice, but you can also get this one in the stainless steel bracelet if that's your bag. But me personally, I would still get it on the NATO strap, and if you really want to get this with a stainless steel bracelet or with a mesh or shark mesh bracelet, which I think it would look good on, you can always swap it out afterwards. So when looking at these watches, any other options that come to mind, or any other thoughts that come to mind, sorry. Well, first of all, they feel incredibly well made and they feel quite sturdy. So for the price, I do think that you're getting a bit of a bargain. You've got a nice automatic movement in there. I'm not sure what it is. I'd imagine it's going to be just a cheap Chinese movement that they've put in there, but it is still, you know, it does feel quite substantial and quite nice. I'm a big fan of the brushed stainless steel which they've got all around the crown on there, and I do think that it looks pretty actually when it comes onto wrist. Now obviously this watch won't be fit for taking in the pool or for swimming or for diving, although this is emulated after a dive watch. Again, this sort of happens around this price point. You know, think a bit like the Tavis Submariner, and realize that you can't really go and take this swimming. It doesn't have a screw down crown. It instead has just a normal crown that you just pull out and adjust the time as and when. So I'd probably say this watch is probably around 30 meters of water resistance, at a push maybe 50 meters, although I probably wouldn't want to take this watch into the pool. But they have emulated the Seamaster design on there. So if I put this into focus, you can see that it's got the Paularies Automatic Professional on the top, and then underneath it's actually copies almost word for word master chronometer, coaxial, 600 meters, 2,000 feet of water resistance. Again, that's probably just for show. That's just to show off that this is a copy of the Omega Seamaster. I wouldn't take this swimming, but if you do buy it and give it a go, then let me know in the comments below. Again, let's get up close and personal with the Paularies and the chronograph. So as you can see, you've got the option on here to start off the pushes for the chronograph and then to reset it. Again, you've got your Paularies Professional on the top, and then you've got your coaxial master chronometer, 600 meters, 2,000 feet of water resistance just above the date complication. Again, this is just made to look exactly like the Seamaster. Again, I would have doubts about taking this one into the pool. As you can see again on this one, it is not screw down crown, it's just a push, just a pushy crown. There you've gone there. However, what I would say about both of these watches is the movement at the back actually looks pretty nice. So if I flip this watch over now, you can see what that movement looks like, and you know, it's pretty standard. It's a pretty standard movement, but I do think that for the price it looks rather pretty, especially when you compare it to some of the other watches that you can get for the same price at this. You know, think Tavis, think Benier, think of other watches that do offer automatic movements on AliExpress, and I'd probably say this is probably one of the best made ones at this price point. Again, you've got the same movement at the back of this one. This is covered by the NATO strap. If I was to take the NATO strap off and show you, I think it looks slightly different from this one, but I will double check. Yes, so as you can see on this one, the automatic, they've actually branded that one, and they've actually changed the color as well, so it's a little bit of like a copper bronze style with the Paularies logo on there. You don't get that on this one. However, it is obviously the same movement, but you can't have everything for $30 to $35. So guys, overall impressions, what do I think? Well, these watches certainly pack a punch for the money. I believe that at the price point they do offer, you know, some nice specs. However, with all the watches at this price point, and I'm not just including these ones, I'm talking about the Tavis as well, and some of the other watches that you have available, they are showpieces only. And what I mean by showpieces only is that they look the part, but they won't do what they are meant to do in terms of being divers watches. So you don't get these ones wet, they're not going to survive. However, you could probably, you know, wear them around as you know, sort of an everyday watch, but don't expect to get these wet, and don't expect to use them for anything that's going to be hardcore. Obviously the glass would shatter if you're not careful. But what I would say for these watches is that they are incredible value for money. They have a nice automatic movement in there. They look good as well, and for a lot of people, I know that some people don't like the look of NATO straps, some don't like the look of silicone straps as well, or they're not too sure on it. These watches at less than $40 overall are definitely worth a punt, because at the end of the day, if you find that these watches might be for you, or you like the look of these watches, then it could incentivize you to save up for a different watch down the line. So, you know, you could end up saying, right, well, this one actually looks pretty good. I think I will save up some money for a Omega Planet Ocean, or I will look to buy a Homage that actually has some water resistance and some sapphire crystal as time goes along. So there you go, guys. My take on the Paularies Planet Ocean Homage watches. So you've got the chronograph and you've got the plain dial. I prefer the plain dial. Some people prefer the chronograph. It's a bit Marmite. It's whichever one you prefer, really, at the end of the day. But thank you again for watching the video. Really appreciate it. It's a very short and sweet one this week. There are some more videos coming up. We've got some different watches that are going to be coming in for review as well. But again, if you like what you see, please like, share and subscribe. And again, we'll see you in the next video.